Coworker, 43M, making up rumors about me, 30F. I worked with Ben, 43, about 6 years ago. 30F, as an intern at the company, and he was a bit higher up. Generally, his position wouldn't be interacting with mine. Since I was fresh out of college, and extremely naive, I thought Ben wanted to be friends. We had lunches/dinners/coffee frequently. He used to tell me about his marital problems and I would about boys my age. So cringe. Anyway, things got ugly when he started to want more and I didn't. I tried to gently turn him down, and I ended up leaving after my internship ended. A few years went by and I graduated with my MBA and came back to the company in the same role as Ben. He immediately recognized me, even though I looked different. I lost 25 pounds, got into shape, and grew my hair out. I also updated nearly every aspect of my life into a professional from a poor broke college kid. I'm also happily married, to a woman, lol, who would have thought. Ben has been making up rumors about me at the office for a month now. Apparently his marriage isn't going well and he's unhappy. He's told people at work I'm obsessed with him. I'm not actually queer. I'm a stalker. I slept my way to get my degree, among other stuff. It's just tough to catch him because he's never said it directly to me. He just ignores me, but finds excuses to always look at me or be around. I've reported it to HR, and waiting to see, but what gives? Such strange behavior. He was nice at first until he saw the differences. Too long didn't read. 30F, my coworker, 43M, has been spreading rumors about me at work for a month now since I came back. I'm not sure what his issue is. Sounds like when you reject a guy and they start going "you're ugly anyways. I never wanted you." He's salty. You know exactly what his issue is. Unfortunately, Ben may be digging his own grave, but you're right to make HR aware of his antics. I'm guessing your co-workers were the ones who brought all this to your attention, right? Next time they mention it, keep that what gives. It's such strange behavior energy, it'll serve you better than anger, however justified. You might also want to address his annoying hanging around habit in the moment. Hey, Ben, you need something? We'll be done with the conference room in another few minutes. Ben, you look like you have something to add about the Bluth account. Want to grab a seat? Let him scuttle away like the weirdo he is. He wanted to have an affair, you didn't, and now he's trying to humiliate you because his fragile ego can't handle the fact that you didn't want him. It's awful. I think that's what's going on. This is an HR matter. Gather evidence, gather witnesses, record everything and don't hold back. He did this to himself. Good luck. He's creating a hostile workplace and endangering your professional reputation and your job. Nope, don't let him get away with it. He was nice at first until he saw the differences. Realized I wouldn't fuck him. Creeps going scorched earth to protect his ickle-wee ego. You know the guys who get angry and call women whores when they get rejected? He's one of that lot. My fiancé, 30M, lied to me, 30F, about the first 10 years of his childhood and I feel like I don't know him anymore. My fiancé and I have been together for 5 years. As far as I was aware, his story has always been he was born and raised in California and moved to the Midwest, where we met, when he was 10. His mother was showing me old pictures this past weekend and showed me the house he grew up in, which was not in California. So I confronted him about it and he said, "Oh yeah, that's just the story I tell people." So wait, he lied about being born and raised in CA? Yes. Why? Oh, just because. Things that supported his story. Parents lived in California for some time. Now I found out before he was born, and talk about it. I was visiting the city he was born in and he had me take a picture of his house and send it to him. He always said his skin condition didn't surface until he moved to the Midwest and he misses CA weather because it was great for his skin. Had a whole elaborate story about moving to the Midwest in the winter and how it was awful because he was used to surfing every day and walking walking to the beach. I feel completely blindsided. I feel like I don't know him at all. I'm wondering what else he's keeping from me. Lying about something as major as the first 10 years of your life is kind of earth-shattering. He is acting like he doesn't really get it. Am I making too big of a deal of this? Is this a relationship-ending lie? I never even imagined this to be a situation I am in, so I don't have any clue how to handle this. Too long didn't read. My fiancé, 30M, of 5 years lied to me, 30F, about where he was born and raised for no reason. What the hell does this mean? So this may not be a relationship-ending lie, but emo, it's an engagement-ending lie. Because you do not want to marry a man who lied this casually and convincingly to you, not until you understand exactly why he did it, and more importantly not until you've rebuilt your trust that he's not going to lie to you and that there are no other major lies. And that will take some time, maybe even a year or more. So breaking the engagement will sour the relationship quite a bit, and I'm not sure that you're going to see the signs that indicate he can be trusted again, if you go back to GF/BF and try to work it from there. Nor am I sure that he'll propose again. I mean, he's done it once. Why would he again? No, you shouldn't marry him until this is completely resolved and makes sense to you. Cancel the wedding plans, if any. Then talk to him and see what's up. We don't have wedding plans at this point. Freaking pandemic ruined that, which, I guess is a good thing? I'm scared I'm just going to waste my time waiting to see if I can trust him again. I mean, this just came completely out of nowhere. What's to say he's not lying about more? I mean, do I have to ask his mom for his backstory now? I feel so stupid. I think most of us generalize where we grew up for convenience. Like, if people as where I grew up, I tell them the place I didn't actually move to until I was 8 but was where I did my schooling and lived until my early 20s. So that is appropriate. In his case it isn't that simple. He has fabricated an entire backstory, which would be weird, but maybe you could dismiss so that he doesn't have to explain something a bit more touchy. But he also leaned into the fiction, getting you to interact with some random house and putting a lot of emphasis on the construction of this facade. I'm not sure why CA is a place he feels is a more fitting backstory for his life, but the real issue is how elaborate the lying was given, how utterly unimportant it is. He can't pretend it was just because, given he proactively pushed it himself. Which means he is either contriving it and trying to like gaslight you now or something, or he earnestly doesn't get why this shatters your ability to trust him. And honestly, both to me are pretty major concerns. For me, the most disturbing thing is that he was willing to lie indefinitely. The only reason he has stopped this lie is because you caught him. He evidently does not have morals or conscience to influence his behavior positively and prevent him from immoral acts like lying to his future wife. Super disturbing and destabilizing to a relationship. What are his limits? You can now never truly know. I was married to a man like this in my 20s. He told me all these things about his university education that he didn't have, surfing adventures he had gone on that never happened, and his rank in the military, also false. Before we were married, I had some concerns that the timelines didn't add up, but didn't press him on it until after the wedding. He told me he had just been trying to impress me. Problem was, the lying continued, and eventually involved me. He told his employer I had been in an accident and he needed to leave early every Friday to take me to physio. I was working until 8 p.m. every Friday. I only found out because his boss eventually demanded medical proof, and he panicked and thought I might be able to convince a family friend doctor to cover for him. I refused and we divorced soon after. I never did find out what he did with all those Friday evenings to himself. I know everyone lies from time to time, but a lie this deep and detailed is a major concern. Honesty is such a huge part of a healthy relationship. I would tread very carefully from here if you decide to stay. I did this when I was like 9. I thought it sounded cooler to have been born in Hawaii. But of course, I was 9, and as an adult I don't lie about where I spent my childhood. I think it's fair to question his honesty after fabricating such a lie. He needs to own up to the issue, though. If he's pretending it's not a big deal, then it might be an even bigger deal than you realize. So I've spoken to him a bit more since posting, and he's told me he's embarrassed about the whole situation, is ashamed he let it go on so long, wants to stay out of my decision-making process. So he's owned up to it at this point and understands the seriousness of the situation, which I guess is good, but WTF, I feel like I don't even know him right now. I, 40F, need help disengaging from my spouse, 40 meters. I, 40F, need help disengaging from my spouse, 40 meters. He has mental health issues, depression, anxiety, ADHD, addiction, not active, relapse, and he's stopped taking his medications. I feel as though he's sucking me down a black hole and it's causing me stress and anxiety. We tried couples counseling and were told we can't continue with therapy until he does individual therapy. He's supposed to start individual this week. He barely speaks to me, and when he does he's talking at me. He engages when he feels like it and nothing more. He seems to be emotionally unavailable. He gets upset with me and withholds emotional and physical intimacy. The bedroom has been dead. I'm stuck because I'm a stay-at-home mom with twins in remote school and an infant. He provides financially and doesn't have much left for anyone, me or kids, after work. I also feel guilty divorcing someone with mental health issues, as I wouldn't divorce if he was diagnosed with a physical condition. How do I accept the situation for what it is until changes can be made? How do I get peace for myself? TLDR, stay-at-home mom in a difficult marriage needs help to disengage from marriage and accept a roommate situation for the time being. I feel as though he's sucking me down a black hole and it's causing me stress and anxiety. Some people are sinking ships, and unless you detach yourself from them, you're going down too. What a tough situation, to be stuck with a non-communicative partner during a freaking pandemic. I'm not sure you can fully get peace for yourself right now, but maybe these 2 steps will make things more manageable. 1. Use an incognito or private browser tab to start looking into divorce/dissolution processes or laws, legal separation. 2. Explore ways for you to get the support you need, whether through your own one-to-one therapy, time with supportive friends/family, support groups e.g. through NAMI, or even trying to find time for a few minutes of self-care each day, such as self-compassion meditation or other mindfulness practices. Edit, I suggest looking into the divorce process just so you can have a sense of what that will require from you. It's easier to figure out what steps you want to take when you are more informed about your choices, pros and cons, etc. I went through the same thing with my ex-husband. Fortunately I had my own career, so I'll preface this with saying that I had my own income, which made leaving an easier option than you're being faced with. His mental health issues were taking a major toll on me. I would get a text from him in the middle of the day and have what I believe now to be anxiety attacks, convinced that rather than a "hey, we need milk," it would be a "I'm checking myself back into the hospital." It was like walking on eggshells at home. He wasn't the man I married. I would talk and he literally wouldn't respond. He would phase through manic days and then dark depressions. Anytime I tried to discuss my own unhappiness in our marriage, he would have panic attacks and go to the hospital, because he'd then suicidal. I felt horribly guilty for feeling the way I did. After all, I had said for better or for worse. If he had been suffering from cancer and was depressed, moody, crazy, etc., I wouldn't have been tempted to leave, right? Knew it wasn't his fault. I felt bad that something outside of his control might result in him being alone. We did marriage therapy and the therapist asked if I was cheating on him. Of course not, or if he was on drugs or alcohol. I wished that he'd been on drugs so I had an excuse that didn't make me feel so guilty. Ultimately he asked for a divorce because my unhappiness was making him unhappy. Haha, it was difficult, but we are successful co-parents and I'm so glad. It took a while before texts would stop giving me anxiety. It was such a weight off my shoulders. It doesn't make you a bad person. Ask yourself what you'd say to your kids if they were in the same situation as you someday.